Hello dear students, very warm welcome in the class, very good morning all of you. Now in today's class all of you, what we're going to understand about the committees of the parliament. What are their works? Parliament के अंदर जो committees होती हैं अलग-अलग, उनका work क्या होता है? Like standing committee, public account committee, what are their works? Joint parliamentary committee. So that's what we're going to understand in this topic. So a significant feature of the legislative process is the appointment of committees for various legislative purposes. So it is very important feature of parliament or legislature that from Lok Sabha, from Rajya Sabha, or there may be a joint committee also of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, both committees are made. And in these committees, the members of the opposition parties and the members of the ruling party, government, they are also part of it. So the committees actually try to make consensus, try to discuss or deliberate the bill in a very detailed manner. So the role of the committees are very, very important. These committees play a vital role, not merely in lawmaking, but also in the day-to-day business of the house. Since the parliament meets only during sessions, what about the rest of the time period? These committees work actually. Parliament to सिर्फ session होते हैं उसके तो ना, like budget session, winter session, monsoon session. But when the session is not there, what actually the parliamentarians do? जब parliamentarians जब session नहीं चल रहा होगा उस टाइम में क्या करेंगे? तो उस टाइम में committees का role बहुत important हो जाता है. Why? Because the committees throughout the year, they discuss the bills, they discuss the matters, they discuss the proceedings of the house, and that's how the better things prevail. So it has very limited time at its disposal, which the parliament, because it works only in the session. But the making of law, for instance, requires an in-depth study, and for that there is an appointment of the committee. There are appointments of different committees. So this in turn demands more attention and time. So therefore, committees का मेन वर्क यही है कि जो बिल्स हैं या जो ड्राफ्ट हैं लॉ के, जो लॉ बनाया जाने वाला है, उनको डिटेल्ड इन डेप्थ में डिस्कस करना. और वहां पे सभी मेंबर्स होते हैं, लाइक ऑपोजिशन पार्टी के, रूलिंग पार्टी के भी. क्योंकि प्रोसीडिंग्स हाउस के तो टाइम पीरियड में होती है, तो वहां पे टाइम लिमिट है. थ्रू आउट द ईयर डिस्कशन सिर्फ कमेटी के अंदर हो सकता है. सो दैट्स व्हाई committees are very vital part of the legislature. There are other important functions also, like studying the demands for grants made by various ministers, looking into expenditure of various departments, investigating cases of corruption, etc. Like public account committee, जो audit वगैरह का काम करती है government spendings की. So parliamentary committee performs such functions. So what functions are performed by the parliamentary committees? Studying the demands for grants made by the various ministries, looking into expenditure incurred by various departments, investigating cases, auditing and investigating corruption cases, etc. These are the work of the parliamentary committees. Since 1983, India has developed a system of parliamentary standing committees. Now there are over 20 such departmentally related committees, like committee related to the defense, committee related to the finance, committee related to the information and broadcasting. These committees are known as the standing committees. Okay. And these supervises the work of various departments, their budget, their expenditure, their bill that come up in the house relating to the department. तो मानो जैसे कोई बिल आने वाला है इंफॉर्मेशन एंड ब्रॉडकास्टिंग मिनिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड, कम्युनिकेशन से रिलेटेड, तो उसके लिए अलग से स्टैंडिंग कमेटी है हाउस के अंदर, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर. तो बिल वहां पे भेजा जा सकता है, वहां पे डिटेल डिस्कशन हो सकता है, कंसेंसस बन सकता है, देन इट गोज अगेन टू द हाउस. So that's how these departmental committees, these standing committees, separately they are made for the departments, and they in depth discuss the matter and they perform their task, they perform their work. Apart from standing committees, कुछ अलग कमेटी भी होती है, जैसे JPC, Joint Parliamentary Committee, in which both the members of both the houses, they just are the part of the JPC. They can be set up for the purpose of discussing a particular bill. किसी पर्टिकुलर बिल को डिस्कस करने के लिए जेपीसीज बनाई जा सकती है, लाइक द जॉइंट कमिटी टू डिस्कस बिल और द पर्पस ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग फाइनेंशियल इरेगुलरिटीज, उनको डिस्कस करने के लिए भी जेपीसी, जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी बनाई जा सकती है. और इनके जो मेंबर्स होते हैं वो कौन से हाउस होते हैं? बोथ द हाउसेस, फ्रॉम राज्यसभा एंड लोकसभा बोथ. सो द कमिटी सिस्टम हैज रिड्यूस्ड द बर्डन ऑन द पार्लियामेंट. तो अब कमिटी ने क्या बेनिफिट दिया है? बिकॉज पार्लियामेंट तो एक सेशन एक टाइम फ्रेम में होगी, तो वहां के सारे मेंबर चाहे ओपोजिशन के हो चाहे रूलिंग के पार्टी के हो, वो सभी पार्ट होते हैं क्योंकि कमिटीज का, तो कमिटीज पहले ही इन डेप्थ डिस्कशन कर लेती है, तो ब्लू फॉल्स अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है उसको पहले ही सॉर्ट आउट कर लिया. So that's how the smooth functioning of the legislature will happen. So many important bills have been referred to the committees. The parliament has merely approved the work done in the committees with few occasional alterations. तो पार्लियामेंट तो ज्यादातर क्या करती है, जो मेन वर्क जो है पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज ने किया है उन्हीं में ओकेजनल अल्टरेशंस का काम होता है, अदरवाइज दे जस्ट अप्रूव व्हाटएवर द कमिटीज हैव गिवन, बिकॉज़ कमिटीज के अंदर तो दोनों मेंबर्स होते हैं, अपोजिशन एंड रूलिंग. सो दैट्स हाउ द थिंग्स are done. Of course, legally speaking, no bill can become law and no budget will be sanctioned unless approved by the parliament. So there must be approval of the parliament. But the parliament rarely rejects the suggestions made by the committees. Why? Because in the committees, all the political parties members are there. So therefore, the role of the standing committees, parliamentary committee, joint parliamentary committee is very, very important. So that's how the parliamentary committees function and they work. So these are the work of the parliamentary committee. Now the next topic is, how does the parliament regulate itself? Now dear students, we have come to our next topic, and that is, how does the parliament regulate itself? What functions or what are the steps which have been taken for the regulation of the parliament itself? So parliament, as mentioned earlier, is a debating forum. Debates are done on various matters, public related issues. It is through debates that the parliament performs all vital functions. So such discussions must be meaningful and orderly, so that the function of the parliament are carried out smoothly and its dignity is intact. So the constitution itself has made certain provisions to ensure smooth conduct of the of business. The presiding officer of the legislature is the final authority. Now, you know, the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha is speaker and the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha is the chairman. Now everyone, the presiding officer of the legislature is the final authority and in matters of regulating the business of the legislature. Now, there is one more way in which presiding officers control the behavior of the members. You know, many times you might have seen in a different manner, many awkward, in a very rude manner, these parliamentarians behave, and it has become a simple conception that, or perception that the parliamentarians in parliament not behave in a very good manner. But there is presiding officer, there are proper rules for the proceeding of the house. So if someone violate those rules, they are even punished according to the rules mentioned in the proceeding of the house rule book. You may have heard about the anti-defection law. Few laws also have been made to reform the political system. Anti-defection law. Now, what do you mean by the anti-defection law? First, it was done with the 52nd Amendment in 1985. Later on, in 91st Amendment, the provision of anti-defection law was done, in which now it is a law that if a particular person who wins from a political party and after winning that person changes the political party, so the membership of that person can be also lost. उस person की membership भी चली जाएगी. वहां पे बस एक क्लॉज ऐड किया हुआ है that 75% से ज्यादा अगर एक साथ पार्टी को, किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को लीव करते हैं, then it is allowed. Otherwise, defecting the political party is not allowed now. Anti-defection law has been made. So this is a very good step taken by the legislature itself. So most of the members of the legislature are elected on a ticket of some political party. What would happen if they decide to leave the party after getting elected? So leaving the party after winning from another political party is known as the defection. And now there is a provision of anti-defection law. For many years after independence, this issue was unresolved. Finally, what happened? There was an agreement among the parties that legislator who is elected on one party's ticket must be restricted from defecting to another party. So an amendment, 52nd Amendment was done in 1985, and this amendment was known as Anti-Defection Amendment. It has also been subsequently modified in 91st Amendment. The presiding officer of the House is the authority who takes final decision in all such cases. So the presiding officer of Lok Sabha is speaker and the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha is chairman. Who is ex officio chairman? कौन होता है Rajya Sabha का? The vice president. If it is proved that a member has defected, then such member loses the membership of the house. So that is the anti-defection law. So now if any particular member changes the political party, so that after winning from another political party can lose the membership also. So besides, such a person is also disqualified from holding any political office like ministership and etc. Now the question comes, what is defection? So if a member remains absent in the house when asked by the party leadership to remain present or vote against the instruction of the party or voluntarily leaves the membership of the party, deemed as defection. So if a person, अगर वो अपनी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की जो गाइडेंस है, जो उनकी मतलब ऑर्डर्स है, उनको ना माने फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस में, इसी का मतलब होता है डिफेक्शन का, मतलब अपनी पार्टी के अगेंस्ट चलना, एंड दैट इज नॉट अलाउड. एंड व्हाई? Because of instability. To stability, this anti-defection law was made. So experience of the past 20 years show that anti-defection amendment has not been able to curb defections, but it has given additional powers to the party leadership that and the presiding officers of the legislatures over the members. So some loopholes are still there in anti-defection law, yet this anti-defection law has given some additional power to the party leadership and presiding officers in terms of if any legislator violate or defect the political party. This is all about this topic, legislature. So very interesting topic. In this topic, we understood that what we mean by parliament, what we mean by bicameral legislature, what is the provision of bicameral legislature in Germany, and what are the powers of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, how they differ, why we say that Lok Sabha has much power, it is much superior than the Rajya Sabha. What are the regions, what the parliamentary committees do. These all topics we understood, we discussed in a legislature. Thank you very much, everyone.